Minecraft is the ultimate sandbox game, but on its own, the world can feel a bit empty. This is where structures add so much to the game. Not only do they add to the overall vibe, but they can be essential towards getting better gear, unique items, and beating the game. Stumbling upon a rare structure like a Woodland Mansion is always exciting, but knowing how to route and loot it effectively can be insanely beneficial. Whether you're the average survival player looking to be more efficient, or an aspiring speedrunner looking to master looting quickly, this video is here to help you. I'm a speedrunner who's been playing this game for over a decade, and in this video, I'm going to cover the 21 structures you can master in the Minecraft world. I'll go in alphabetical order and split the video into chapters for reference, but without further ado, let's jump right into the ancient city. To best convey the plan for each structure, I'm going to discuss where to find it, the major loot it contains, the optimal route for efficient looting, and some tactics and notes to be aware of. For example, the ancient city can be found under biomes with high elevation and low erosion values. This is most commonly the case with biomes like peaks, groves, and plateaus. When it comes to the major loot, you'll find swift sneak books, diamond leggings and hose, diamond horse armor, disc fragments, echo shards, notch apples, regen pots, and the silence and ward armor trims. For the most efficient looting possible, we'll first have to examine the overall shape of the city. It consists of many small ruined structures branching out from the center frame. Connecting everything together are walls that act as wool highways. It's next to these walls that you'll find the structures with the loot chests. Since the interior portion of the city around the frame has almost no loot, it's best to follow the wool paths in kind of a plus sign kind of shape, where you loot every structure while circling the city. You can do this by either running on the wool paths or by sprint jump sneaking next to them. Swift sneak can make this so much faster. Remember to bring wool if looting a city is in your plans, since you can cover shriekers like this to prevent wardens from spawning. You could also just bring shears to mine wool from the pass if you run low. A more advanced strategy for safe looting involves making a noise machine that will distract any pesky wardens from chasing you. This simple design only takes a piston, an observer, and 3 redstone dust. The Bastion remnants are one of the most valuable yet dangerous structures in all of Minecraft. Found in all nether biomes besides basalt deltas, they can generate anywhere inside these 368 by 368 green squares. These are called quadrants, and they're what spread out structures like fortresses and bastions in the nether. There can only be one structure per quadrant, and this can be useful to know when deciding which direction to run. Major loot for bastions includes iron, gold, diamond pickaxes and shovels, obsidian, crying obsidian, netherite, netherite upgrades, pig step music discs, and snout armor trims. That doesn't even mention all the barters available from piglins like ender pearls, fire resistance pots, and happy ghasts. Bastions come in 4 different variations: housing, stables, treasure, and bridge. Each has their own sub-variations and unique routes, but for this video, I'll cover the simplest, most consistent routes for each type. It's important to understand the makeup of bastions first though, and this can be explained by dividing each bastion into 2 sections: the ramparts and then its unique add-ons that give it its name. For example, housing has 2 ramparts, which are these tower-looking structures that contain chests, but the reason it's called housing is because its other half is meant to be housing units for piglins. The ramparts are the most important feature for the routes I'm going to show, so knowing how to identify them is key. For housing, we'll do a route called top-down. Next is stables, and it has the most variation of all the bastions. There are 3 ramparts here rather than the 2 for housing, but these can either be generated as a single chest, lantern chest, or triple chest. Triple chests are the best since they have more loot chests and contain gold on the inside. Unique to stables are what we call gaps, and there are 2 of them found under the left and right ramparts respectively. These are what make stables different than all other bastions, since they can generate as either a bad gap or a good gap. Bad gaps, evidenced by this 2-block gap and cracked blackstone here, contain no gold. Good gaps, evidenced by a 1-block gap and lack of cracked blackstone, contain lots of gold, and these are what you'll need for this route called triple to gap. Next up is treasure, and it's one of the most recognizable Bastion types. It has 2 ramparts connected to the massive, iconic lower treasure box by a bridge. This is where you'll typically start your route. Finally, we have bridge, which tends to be a very consistent Bastion type. It has the main bridge which runs through the lava waterfall tunnel, a golden chalice where you'll find all the gold you need, and 2 ramparts on each side, which can either be a single chest or triple chest. The route I'm going to showcase is called Donkey Kong, and it requires one of the sides to be a triple to do so. There's 2 variations, one for each triple side, so let's quickly cover them. There are so many more routes you can learn for every kind of Bastion, and you can find more information about that outside this video. Some important tactics to know are to wear gold armor if you're less confident, always have piglin distractions available like ingots, gilded blackstone, or other gold items, always have a boat and lava bucket on you to deal with rogue piglins, and to always deal with brutes first if you're playing on modern versions. Buried treasures are great for both speedruns and getting loot in everyday Minecraft, and since they technically are structures, let's break them down. They can contain ores like iron, gold, diamonds, and emeralds, food like cooked salmon and cod, TNT, water-breathing pots, a heart of the sea, and nautilus armor. Found exclusively in beach biomes and at the chunk coordinates 9-9, they can sometimes be very visible just by scanning the coast. They have to generate with blocks covering every side. So if you see an unusual protrusion from a beach made from stone, sand, or gravel, the odds are high that's hiding a BT. You can use pie charts to locate the exact chunk it's in, and for speedrunning, this is the best option. This varies version by version, but there are videos available that go over how to use the charts. Once you know where the BT is, it's best to take a direct line and stay on land for as long as possible. That's because sprint jumping is almost twice as fast as swimming. Desert temples are one of the oldest structures in Minecraft, but that doesn't mean they're any less useful now than they were back then. They added a room filled with suspicious sand in 1.20, but the main loot of the pyramid is still in the hidden room under the clay floor. Of that loot, you'll find ores like iron, gold, diamonds, and emeralds, materials like gunpowder, string, and TNT, and other valuables like golden apples, enchanted golden apples, enchanted books, horse armor, and the dune armor trim. To loot the bottom room, start by entering the closest available entrance. That could either be the front door, the 2 side doors higher up, or the hole on the very top. Using a water bucket would prevent taking damage throughout this route, but it isn't required for what you'll need to do. Start mining the sandstone between the orange terracotta. Hold crouch and align your crosshair on the top 2 pixels of the block. Once it's broken, you can uncrouch to be perfectly lined up to mine the block under the pressure plate. Take the pressure plate, place it onto the block you're on, drop into the hole, mine all the TNT, hop out, and wait for the TNT you ignited to detonate. Once it has, collect all the drops and pillar out using the blocks blown up by the TNT. You can utilize your offhand to toss out junk items you may not want. Dungeons are super simple, and though they're technically features and not structures, they're still valuable when it comes to its contents and loot. Each dungeon contains 0 to 2 chests and a mob spawner inside its 7x7 cobblestone walls. The spawner has a 50% chance of being a zombie and 25% chance of being a spider or skeleton. The chests contain ores like iron and gold, miscellaneous materials like gunpowder, string, and wheat, and assorted loot like buckets, horse armor, enchanted books, golden and enchanted golden apples, and music discs. When looting the room, it's best to get a light source down as soon as possible. This can be done with either a torch, which you'll probably have if you're mining, or a lava bucket, which can also clear out the mobs inside automatically. Other than that, mining the spawner is almost never worth it, and you should try to not hang out outside the spawner for too long, since mobs can build up inside of it. End cities contain some of the best endgame loot in Minecraft, but looting them can be dangerous at best. Luckily, there's multiple tactics you can deploy to make the process much safer. As for the loot, you'll find ores like iron, gold, diamonds, and emeralds, enchanted iron and diamond tools and armor, horse armor, elytra, and the spire armor trim. The plan is to beeline straight towards the ship if there is one, and to then use the elytra from there to loot the city from the top down. If your main goal is looting the chests, these are the buildings that contain them. For the triple stack building, mine behind the ender chest. Mine the chest, place 2 blocks right here, break the block behind the chest, and loot the chest. For the room on top of the tower, go to the side opposite the staircase and mine 4 blocks from the corner. Place a block 2 down, and now you can drop in and loot the chest without being seen. Remember to bring a water bucket and fireworks, and note that you can offhand a bow while holding a looting sword to make the effects long range. The igloo is a simple but possibly quite useful structure found in snowy taigas, plains, and slopes. They have a 50% chance of containing a hidden room deep under the back middle white carpet. And in this room, you'll find a brewing stand with a weakness pot, a villager and zombie villager, and a chest that always contains a golden apple. In the upstairs quarters, you'll find a crafting table, bed, and furnace. The most valuable things in an igloo are typically the utilities, but sometimes curing the villager and using those two to start a village can be useful. Jungle temples are one of the most iconic buildings in Minecraft, from the tripwire booby traps to the lever puzzle that leads to a hidden chest. Containing ores like iron, gold, diamonds, and emeralds, and assorted loot like bamboo, enchanted books, horse armor, and wild armor trims, these pyramids can be great for getting some quick resources. The lazy way to access chest number 1 is to break down like this, but the cool way is to use the lever puzzle. Flip the lever closest to the wall on, then flip the opposite lever on, then off. Finally, flip the first lever off and break it for use later. Now you can run up the stairs and drop into a hole the pistons created. After you've looted the chest, place the lever here and flip it as you jump to get out of the hole lickety-split. As for chest number 2, try to dodge the arrow dispensers by running along the wall. You can also use shears to disarm the tripwires so you don't even have to worry about them. Mineshafts are everywhere in a Minecraft world, and they can be great to run into when on a mining expedition. They've got extra ores like iron, gold, diamonds, lapis, and redstone, additional resources like iron pickaxes, torches, bread, glowberries, golden apples, and enchanted golden apples, and assorted loot like enchanted books, seeds, and rails. Not to mention, they're pretty much the only way to refill on wood when you're underground. The best way to clear them out is to start from the center room and clear out each branch of the mine. By blocking off all the paths you've cleared out, you can methodically ensure you've searched the whole structure for the chest minecarts. As for the cave spider spawners, you can use a water bucket, sword, or shears to clear out the web so you can place a torch. Nether fortresses are essential when it comes to speedrunning and beating the game, so knowing the ins and outs of this place is beneficial. Not only can you get blaze rods for Eyes of Ender, but you can also find ores like iron, gold, and diamonds, other resources like nether wart, wither skulls, and obsidian, and loot like horse armor and the rib armor trim. The fortress can be split into 2 sections, the bridges and the corridors. The loot chests are in the corridors, and the blaze spawners are in the bridges, so knowing what you're after will help you decide where to go. The sections are separated by a large room with a lava well, so you need to pass through that room to go from corridors to bridges. Sometimes it can be a maze trying to find your way around the corridors, but there are a few simple rules to always find the well room. First, go opposite any balconies. Second, always go through nether wart stairs. And third, always go up staircases. These rules will always bring you to the same room. Your 2 biggest problems in a fort are blazes and wither skeletons, but both have simple counters. Wither skeletons are 3 blocks tall, so blocking off their path with heights that are 2 blocks or less chests will ensure you can take them out easily. You can also build up in the middle of exposed bridges to knock them off the edges. For blazes, either bring a shield or fire resistance pots. You can get fire res easily from trading with piglins, so this is great for when you're speedrunning. If you want to increase mob spawns, you can lower your render distance upon entering the fort to ensure the mob cap is used by spawning extra blazes and wither skellies. Another known strategy for speedrunning is blaze bedding, which can be done with beds like this, or when encased with blocks like this. This can also be done with 2 TNT like this, 3 like this, or 4 like this. These strats open up spawning space for the blazes, allowing you to get rods much quicker. If your goal is maximum wither skeletons, you'll want to find a fort in a soul sand valley, lower your render distance, and search for them in open intersections like this. The Ocean Monument is the biggest structure that doesn't contain chests in Minecraft, but instead, its valuable loot comes in the form of the blocks in there. Inside, you'll find a dark prismarine cube containing gold blocks, at least 1 room containing sponges, and 3 Elder Guardians. 1 Elder Guardian is found in the top room, and the other 2 are found in opposite wings. Mob drops are the other main loot found here, with prismarine shards, crystals, and the tied armor trim. I'd recommend using TNT to blow a hole in the top to easily access the top guardian, and from there clear out every room and block off areas you've already covered. Doors can be super useful for both breathing air and protection from guardians, and water breathing pots make the whole structure that much easier to clear. You can find those easily in buried treasure chests. Ocean ruins are common, and they're sought after for 2 specific things: a buried treasure map and archaeology with a suspicious sand and gravel. Every ruin except for 2 has a chest, and in that you can find a map, emeralds, coal, wheat, stone axes and spears, enchanted books, enchanted fishing rods, and nautilus armor. Among the best archaeological finds are pottery sherds and sniffer eggs. When searching for the chest or brushing sus blocks, either crouch over a magma block or bring doors for air to allow you to find it much easier. Drowns frequently generate with the ruins as well, and it's usually best to deal with them first before trying to loot them. Pillager outposts are one of the weirdest structures in Minecraft. Hear me out. They're unnecessarily rare for the quality of loot they contain, which includes iron, bottles of enchanting, goat horns, dark oak logs, enchanted books, and the sentry armor trim. They can have a laze in the cages outside, making them one of the only 2 structures where you can find them, but that's about it. They also have this one lopsided roof support beam, but that doesn't end up mattering at all, so I don't even know why I mentioned it. As for looting it, run through the door, up the stairs, block them off if you're being chased, loot the top once you've cleared it out, and jump or boat off. Ruin portals come in many shapes and sizes, but they're all useful in a lot of the same ways. Way number 1 is obviously the loot you can get from them, being iron, gold, obsidian, enchanted gold armor and tools, food like golden carrots, golden apples, and enchanted golden apples, and lights like flint and steels and fire torches. Way number 2 is accessing the Nether, which is most useful when speedrunning. In MCSR Ranked, a 1v1 speedrunning mod, this is typically the fastest seed type. By the way, I speedrun live on Twitch every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, so you could come check it out if that sounds interesting. Also, if you find this kind of content helpful, I make lots of videos about how to get better at Minecraft, so make sure to not miss any future vids by subscribing. Thanks, let's jump back in. Not all portals are completable, but the ones that are can be great for traveling quickly through the Nether. I'll leave a video in the description on how to complete every ruined portal, but the basics remain the same for all of them. You either use obsidian from the chest to complete the frame, or surrounding lava to build a portal using a bucket. Be on the lookout for gold blocks that generate with the portal, and be mindful of when you can use gold tools to do tasks quicker, like looting the chest with the golden axe you could find in it. Shipwrecks are arguably one of the best structures in the ocean, giving you unique blocks, extra food, and a bunch of ores. Generating in every ocean type and sometimes on beaches and in icebergs, they have ores like iron, gold, diamonds, emeralds, and lapis, resources like gunpowder, paper, books, moss, crops, bamboo, and TNT, and miscellaneous loot like a buried treasure map, Nautilus armor, and coast armor trims. When looting a ship, the main thing to keep in mind is your oxygen levels. To preserve it as much as possible, stay on the surface until you can dive straight down to the first looting point, which is typically this hole where you can reach the treasure chest. After that, swim over to the supply chest that contains the food, and if you want, swim down to the air pocket door to loot the final map chest. Also, if you want wood and there's no trees nearby, you can mine the ship's mast if it happens to be a variation that has them. The Stronghold is such an iconic Minecraft structure, being both the key to the end and great for loot. It consists of winding hallways that lead to 2 libraries and 1 portal room. Along the way, you'll find altar chests as well, bringing the total loot pool to iron, gold, diamonds, redstone, ender pearls, iron gear, books and enchanted books, paper, and eye armor trims. The whole structure stems from what speedrunners call starter staircase, which is a spiral staircase that leads to a blank stone wall. In speedruns, it's from here that you would typically use a pie chart tuned to the silverfish spawner in the portal room. There's no one-size-fits-all way to find your way around, but there are a few tricks you can use. Keep an eye on doors, since inset doors lead back to starter and flat doors lead away from it. Make sure to check out light sources, since the portal room emits a ton of it. Keep in mind that the portal room is usually within 7 rooms of starter staircase, so if you feel you've gone too deep, make sure to double back. If you're in the room which speedrunners call a 5-way, a blank stone wall adjacent to a flat brick wall typically means there's a hidden path behind the bricks. Also, going downstairs will typically bring you closer to the portal room, but it's not always the case. Swamp huts are one of the simplest structures in the game, and they're really only useful in a few situations. Found in swamp biomes, the most valuable things inside are the cauldron, which can contain potions in Bedrock Edition, and the black cat, which is tamed to complete the A Complete Catalog advancement. Trail ruins don't have any chests. Instead, their loot is in the form of suspicious gravel, which can be brushed to uncover dyes, candles, glass panes, emeralds, pottery sherds, the Shaper, Razor, Host, and Wayfinder armor trims, and the Relic music disc. They're found in forests like jungles, taigas including old-growth pine and spruce, snowy and normal, and old-growth birch forests. When looting, make your way from the surface down, hitting every suspicious block and making sure to not mine under any of them, since they'll break. The trial chambers are a massive underground dungeon-style structure with a variety of ways to get loot. They've got pots to break, barrels, chests, vaults, and ominous vaults that each contain loot. You'll find ores like iron, diamonds, and emeralds, gear like enchanted books, diamond axes, and diamond chest plates, resources like golden apples and enchanted golden apples, and miscellaneous loot like breeze rods, slime balls, ominous bottles, the flow and bolt armor trims, the creator and precipice music discs, and the heavy core. It can be easily found by using the F3 pie chart and setting it to tick and block entities. If you have a trial spawner or vault within your render, lower it to the number where it disappears from the list. Turn on chunk borders and run into an adjacent chunk. If it doesn't appear, turn to the side and run across another border. If it still doesn't appear, raise your render by 1 and go directly back over that same border. If it still doesn't appear, the chambers are in the direction of the original chunk. If the trial spawner or vault appears at any point in that process, whatever direction you're facing is where the chambers are, and the distance is whatever your render distance is set to. As for looting it, clear each spawner room by room. Block off paths you've already visited, break every pot, and make sure to use wind charges to your advantage when making your way around. A shield is pretty much a must-have, and a water bucket is also great for jumping around efficiently. Villages are one of the most variable structures in Minecraft, having multiple unique buildings based on the biome the village is in. There are desert, plains, savanna, snowy, and taiga types, and memorizing what every house contains in each biome can be super useful when speedrunning or just in general. There can also be abandoned villages, which have cobwebs, zombie villagers, and obviously no iron golem. In villages, you'll find ores like iron, diamonds, emeralds, and gold, resources like obsidian, bread, beds, and books, and other loot like bundles, iron tools, iron armor, and horse armor. Here's a quick rundown of houses to look out for. In the plains, you've got the weaponsmith with iron and obsidian, this big house with 4 beds, and these libraries with bookshelves. In the desert, you've got the weaponsmith, the toolsmith, this medium house with 2 beds and a chest, and this library. In the savanna, you've got the weaponsmith and library. In the snow, you've got the weaponsmith, this ice house with 2 beds, and a library. And in the taiga, you've got the weaponsmith, toolsmith, library, and this medium house with a bed and chest. Once you've got those down, looting any village you come across will go so much smoother. The Woodland Mansion is one of the largest and rarest structures in the game, with 3 separate floors and tons of unique rooms that make them up. For loot, it has ores like iron, diamonds, gold, and redstone, resources like resin, golden apples, and enchanted golden apples, and miscellaneous items like totems of undying, enchanted books, diamond hose, diamond chest plates, and the Vex armor trim. Keep in mind that there are many secret rooms, like these attic chests, this winding staircase room, this clean chest room, this fake end portal room, this cobblestone X room, this lapis block in an illager head, and these diamond blocks in obsidian and lava. Knowing that all these exist, mine into every blank wall you see to make sure you don't miss any. Other than that, make your way floor by floor, blocking off rooms you've already been to, and being on the lookout for the rooms that have chests. Well, there's every structure in Minecraft. Hopefully this video helped you out, and if you want to learn how to master and navigate the entire Minecraft world, click this video right here. Thanks for watching.